what people are afraid of. Like Loic goes so fast
Yeah, yeah.
through horrible rocks, and then he's scared of getting a drawing. I'm scared of getting a drawing. I don't. I'm just scared I won't like it.
What? Yeah, but this you have to forget. Everybody thinking like, oh, what do you think in 10 years? You should not get it out of situation. Like when I see people like with dates and like, you can always the name's kid on the forearm. It's nice that you have a kid and that can't forget the name because you have it tattooed. But when you get your first one, you forget about it so quickly. It's not that like I still like when I brush my teeth and I see my wiener dog. I still makes me smile. And don't overthink it. It
What's
should
your
be
worst one, Boris? Honestly, what's the one that you think is like, in your opinion, is your worst tattoo? Because it's a pretty
but
interesting
from which
collection.
from the quality or like from because I like all of them. It's not there's nothing I would say like, oh, if I would do it now, like no, it's like quality
What's the
wise.
one that you look back on and you just think, whoa, I am actually quite crazy?
Oh, I mean, like to getting the Vegas baby on my head, but I would, I would, I would,
I forgot about that one.
I mean, like it was a drunk idea and it happened so quick, but I still like it. I would do it again. It's like, I mean, actually, the tattoo guy, like, it was my first rampage, I
Yeah,
think,
I
two,
remember.
and two, like, I was the assistant of Ale de Lulu. He kind of hired me, and that were together with I did a story about Brandon, so for the magazine with the cover and a big 15-page story, I think. So the guy spent some time with these guys, which was quite fun.
Always
Um,
fun.
and then two girls adopted me in their RV. It was a Swiss girl and an Austrian girl.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. But the fun thing was when Matt DeLorme, another photography buddy, I flew to his place and we made a road trip with his Mini Cooper through America to Utah, and he dropped me off in the RV park next to on the other side of the old Rampage side, and they were like, so I thought because he's American, the two girls were talking English, so we all were talking English. Then he left and they were still talking English, and I was like, we can actually switch now, but nah, they couldn't understand each other. So the Swiss German the Swiss is pretty hard, and the Austrians, so they couldn't understand each other. I can't understand anything what Swiss people say, like. So we were talking the Swiss, the German, and the Austrian, and we were talking English the whole time. And then after the pitch, we went to Monster Cup.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in Vegas for 2 or 3 days. I was quite bored because we were walking around so long, like it was crazy. But then we met like some of the YT people at the Hart in Huntington. Like Corey Hart, the husband of Pink. He has a tattoo studio in the Hard Rock Cafe, and they were getting tattoos there, and they were actually super expensive and quite shitty. And somehow the idea started, like to get a tattoo. I don't know why. I like haven't thought before about it. And then we ended up in another tattoo studio. The girls were, because I had long hair, they were cutting my hair with a scissor above the trash can outside. And then we went in, and they had to pay. They also got some finger tattoos. They were quite expensive, but the guy who did my stuff was so stoked. He actually called his buddies to have a look at my tattoos. And then I was lying there and got Vegas baby on my head. And so I was just afraid because that he get me vegan baby or something. But, it was quite painful, but not as painful, I think, as the belly, the side of your belly, the hips. No.
What about your ass? I got my ass tattooed as well, and it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced.
Nothing. Then you
Really?
should not do your hips. This part is like the most crazy part. And when I got in the middle part of my chest, this part was quite painful, and then it goes to the middle where your bone is, and I thought like he will cut me, like he will open me.
Really?
As was
I found the ass brutal, but then I do have my hips done. Just above my hip. Yeah. And I think it was bad, but my ass was oof.
I think everybody, I met a girl once, and she had also like the chest and the upper leg, and my chest hurt, and she's like, oh, it was fine, but her leg hurt, and my leg was nothing. So,
weird, isn't it? How your
ass
experience it a little bit different.
I have Steel City Media on my ass. Like I lost the bet with Joe.
Oh yeah.
This is why I have Steel City Media and S4P here. I haven't been to my tattoo guy for like 2 years maybe, because I don't know. It's because I don't think too much about it. It just happens. If like my media squid on my leg, we were just sitting after EWS or Crankworks with like 12 people in an Indian restaurant with Jerome Clemens, Duncan, Sven, everybody was there, and I had the idea to get a media squid. But the thing is, if I would have done it on my own and made my own design, I would have a media octopus, because what I thought, they started drawing and I was like, no, this is not a squid. And what I thought is a squid was actually an octopus. No, what I thought is a squid was an octopus. So if they would not like, no, this is not
No, the tiger.
So I would have a media octopus. But then everybody started drawing, and I collected all the drawings. And when I was back home, I picked the nicest one. I think it was Jamie Nicol who drew the nicest one. And then this is how I. So and
Wicked.
I think
So
have you seen my high performance? What Josh Bryce drew.
That's insane. Brilliant.
Wow.
I love your tattoos, Boris.
I like that
Fantastic.
you've got these random and really funny tattoos, but none of them are like pretty small. They're all 10 out of 10 commitment.
Yeah,
All
but
of
I
it.
think imagine,
All
but
in.
like I think this position as a location gives the size. Imagine like I would have a dog like this. That would look so gay. Like like it's.
That's such a good way of looking at it. So what body part have you got which is too small for a tattoo?
This is why I haven't got anything on my back, because I don't know what it's like, like back.
I thought you were gonna say your dick.
I lined that one up and he didn't take it.
Can't imagine that feeling. That must be horrible. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, how you tattooed it? Like when it's stand up, or when it's like how do you
know
have
that
to
as soon as that needle comes out, it's going in its shell, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine you start, you think like, okay, get it up, and then they just the first touch with the needle, like, and like how does it? No, I know. It's like.
You reckon you could get a harden in front of a tattoo artist? I think it'd be pretty tough. I'm not, depending who it is. I mean,
maybe
it'd be pretty tough. I think.
No, what we think is
Just the needle.
But I think there are a lot of like chicks have tattooed boobs, but also like other areas. But we think like, oh, that must be cool as a tattoo guy. But then you have like the big ones and like the, like it's not like all like models coming in want to have their vagina tattoos. So it's like it can be a special one.
Yeah, you get some warlocks.
I'd bet that most vagina tattoos aren't on models.
I think there's some correlation there, Dave. I think you speak the truth. Yeah,
I think so.
But I want to go back, but I have I still have a bit of free space, but it needs some, with the camera. I asked Sven so many times to please, because he is the biggest influence on my photography, and it's something special, and I wanted to give him to draw me a camera. It has some kind of story. I'm not the guy who have big stories. The story comes from the rest of it, not just the tattoo itself. So, but he always refused. Like, oh, I can't draw. And my idea was just 4 lines, 1 circle, and maybe a button, and that's it. And everybody can draw this. But he always refused to. Then I put it in our media squid group. We have a WhatsApp chat with all the, not with all, but the core group of squids. And Sam Needham, who's always super quiet and it doesn't say a lot. But then he came up with the design, and it's like, have you seen it?
Yeah, dude, it makes sense.
Grips,
if you're going to get a camera, you get it on the whole torso, obviously.
The idea actually was to get it on the other side of my head. But the thing was, my tattoo guy, I never get appointments. He just messaged me like, hey, I have time. You want to come over? So it's just more like on call.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, the 20th of December, and was short before Christmas. And I thought like, oh fuck, we have this family Christmas dinner, and coming with a fresh, because then I have to when I cut this side, I have to cut this side, and coming with a fresh cut mohawk with 2 tattoos on both sides to my grandma's Christmas dinner. I was like, oh, come on, she's not the youngest anymore. Is it really necessary? And then
I have a feeling she might not understand. Yeah. Hey, why don't you get Sven to do a Batman logo? I think that would work good.
Nah,